This is the final part of my first ever oil painting. So if you've seen the other parts, you'll know that this has taken me quite a while. I post them a few days apart, but I have it scheduled out, and this painting has actually taken me over a month now. Now this obviously isn't working all day every day. I am doing another painting during this time, but still it's a lot of hours into it. I think I'm probably over or near 100 hours into this painting, and I'm happy about it because it gives me a lot of experience for the oil painting, and I wanted to choose a large canvas like this for that reason, and also because I didn't know how hard that doing details would be. So I wanted to have a large space where I could see how the oil paint works. So in this part, it might end up being longer than some of the last parts, but it's the kind of the final details and extra little doodles and drawings just to make it complete. This part of the painting is always a little bit more difficult because I want to add enough so that each section looks interesting and looks busy, and you can kind of, if someone's looking at the painting for the first time, they can look at each part and see something different, or each time they look at it, they see another hidden face or aspect. So I want to have that, but I don't want to have it too cluttered. I've done some where sometimes I have too many little dots or lines and it just washes away the detail that I'm trying to do. So I need to really be careful and make sure I don't do that and leave space for the parts that I want to be seen. So I'm just finding that balance. And one thing about an oil painting, usually if this was acrylic, I could finish this part in one day, just do the final details and touch-ups. But because it takes so long to dry, especially with the darker colors and the black outlines that I do more thick, I have to wait a few days and do little parts, or one day I'll do one kind of corner of it, then go back and do the next part with a lighter color so it doesn't blend in too much. So it's kind of working with that and taking a little bit longer, but I think I am pretty close to finally finishing this one up. So as you can see, I'm doing these extra little details. I'm doing this little staircase. I'm gonna have it black and then put in some little stars and just kind of play a little bit with contrasting different colors, a few different little texture things, making sure that all the lines are where I want them to be, and just making sure there's enough that kind of brings the viewer's eyes in. So I want someone to see it, like I said, and not just see a plain landscape or a few details, but see a bunch of cool different parts to it. So I'm just going in. I've been working on this cowboy hat for quite a while, and the tree as well, just making sure that the color is where I want it. The tree wasn't standing out as much as I wanted it to, so I'm going to add some more colors and layer it in a little bit, and then probably go in and do some outlining for that and the hat as well. I'm adding some more depth to this face. I was looking at it from a distance and just took a step back and saw that it needed more, just something to be seen. So I'm making a kind of darker outline around the hat. And then within that little wagon wheel in one of the eyes, I'm going to add some color, probably some lighter color, just to make it more noticeable. And I did the same here with this house. I'm just adding another little side to the chimney. This shape was kind of looking plain, so I'm just going to put in a few different colors, just kind of at random, play with colors a little bit, just kind of a fun little spot. But it did need something more. And I thought this blue sky would be kind of cool to have a few clouds popping through. So much of the sky in this painting is different colors, which is kind of cool, but I wanted to have just a little peek of the classic blue sky with clouds. And now I'm going to this little kind of eyes that I have. Kind of want it to look like just either like a hanging watch or something like that. Just kind of more of an abstract face, but I like how it's looking. And I wanted to add a mouth to this cactus just to make it more obvious that it's like a little creature. So I'm doing that and adding just some more texture to this face. I know it's going to be super abstract, so I'm just leaving it like that and not too picky. I didn't really have a idea or plan going into this one. I just kind of want something to fill the space that isn't just the regular lines. I just wanted something more. Then I'm adding more texture into this part. I'll probably add more fireworks just to give it a little more something, but I like it so far. There's no areas that really need a lot more, probably just small little details like I've mentioned, and putting more texture, more color into this little ocean creature. Just whenever I have the red out, I wanted to brighten it up a little bit more just so it had more of a contrast to the blue, and I like how that's looking. So yeah, just continuing to do that, make sure none of the canvas is popping through. I wanted to add some more detail to these little alien people standing up on the top there, and doing the same thing that I did with the house or the little hotel before with the windows. And I thought it'd be kind of cool to have a little bit of orange and yellow in the background, just have little kind of speckles or stars, just something to give more of a texture, more so than a actual little doodle. So I'm doing that. It's not super planned out, just I needed something more and I didn't want to make it too busy. So I just did that. And whenever I have a bit of extra color as well, I'm going through this little mountain area, both of them, and adding in more. It is cool what a difference it makes just having a little bit of one color on the brush and going in and covering some spots. Then over time, you just see it change, get brighter, and kind of pop out more. And yeah, it's been an interesting, really fun learning experience with this oil painting. I want to do more. I'm going to do another large one on acrylic after this oil painting and the next one I'm doing, just because it is fun doing the acrylic painting. But I want to do a lot more oil ones after this. I might do a oil painting series as well, but I have that nostalgia painting series on acrylic that I want to finish up first. But I do have a lot of fun projects coming soon, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of ideas I can come up with for those. Now I'm just adding some fun shapes in this area. I have those lines coming down from the little roller coaster track, and I just wanted to fill the space but not have anything that takes too much attention away from the main details. Then I thought it'd be kind of cool to do some kind of like Christmas bulbs hanging from the cactus. So I'm just doing that. I'll have the little areas where I want it probably painted white just so the colors go on nicer. And then yeah, doing a little tornado there. I have another part of the painting that I'm doing it as well. But just going in and really seeing that space to make sure it pops out and kind of all the main details don't get taken away from, but I don't want to leave any blank space. So doing this little lightning coming down from the stairs, just a bunch of small details that'll blend together to give it a nice, complete look. I thought that the road area needed a little bit more. The other parts of the painting are much more detailed, and I didn't want it to look super plain. I wanted it to be an area that didn't have a bunch of things on it so it doesn't get washed out, but I thought it needed a few more things. So I'm going through and I thought it'd be kind of cool to do a little like melting kind of thing. So I'll have the cactus and the green of the cactus kind of melting down into the road, and other parts up there I'm going to do the same thing to. I'm going through and just doing a little bit of extra lining for the cactus. There were some spots between that and the background colors where you could see a bit of the canvas, so I went through with the darker green and outlined it. Usually I would outline in black, but I wanted to do it in the dark green, and I found that it worked pretty well. It actually made quite a difference, these little outlining parts do. And I'm continuing this little melting kind of thing by going to the buildings and doing the same thing, just having it look like the colors kind of melting down a bit. And I really like how it makes this top part of the painting look. Wanted to add a mouth to this one as well, and I like the shape of the other one, so I'm just doing the same thing with white. And I saw a little area that I could add a face in the mountains. I thought this one specifically was missing something. The other mountain range looked fine because I had things on top of it, but this one just needed one extra little element. So I'm doing it in white because it contrasts well with the colors, and going in and filling in this mouth as well. I'll probably line it just to make sure it looks nice and clean and you can see what it is more obviously. I'm adding more of this white in this face, and I'm going to do the full face. I'm not going to do an outline around the shape of the head. I just kind of want to keep it like that. I think that'll be enough to kind of draw the eyes in. I'm going back to this first cactus on the right side of the painting and putting white where I want to put the colors. Because there's a lot of the dark colors as the background, I wanted to put a white color before, so when I add the colors it's lighter and you can see them better. I thought that would just make it a little bit easier, especially because it's the oil paint. It'll kind of blend in a little bit more. I'm also going and putting a few more little patterns in that top part and putting in some white in this wheel, in this kind of face. And it actually made quite a difference just looking at it from a far ways away, being able to see that it's a face. Putting in this little detail in the eye as well. And now this part of the painting, I'm doing these finishing touches and finishing details that kind of pull it together and make a part just look more complete and more clean and more planned out. Even these little lining parts make a huge difference, and it's really satisfying to see this part of the painting come together. I don't even know how many hours I've spent on this one. Between working on this one a few hours a day, it's been about over a month since I started. Like I've mentioned before, I schedule these videos out a bit in advance, so it'll just be, these are probably coming out every few days. But I started this one about a month ago and definitely put in over 100 hours. So it's satisfying to be able to do these final details and final touches to it and see it come together and see a theme of this trippy, chaotic Route 66 come together in a way that I wanted it to. It's kind of nice because I don't plan out my paintings beforehand, in the sense of I don't draw a sketch and have it look exactly like that. Sometimes I have some doodles or elements that I kind of make sure it'll work with the space, but I don't like doing that because either way I'll be kind of disappointed with it. I find if I sketch it out and it's not perfect, even if it's good, I get too hung up on making it look exactly like that. So I kind of like this style of doing it. I think it took a little bit to get used to these oil paints in the sense of how much it blends, and I had to learn to work with it and blend it when I wanted to. and make sure that if there's spots that aren't dry yet, I'm either really cautious with it or make sure I'm adding a lot of the color on top of it, or I just wait. I'm doing these little arrows on this road because the road's finally dry enough after almost a month. And like I mentioned, it needed a few extra little details like the melting part. Just do some arrows. I'll do another probably a little kind of group of arrows. And I'm also going through and adding more of the yellow on top of each line. Found it kind of stood out a little bit more. And when I first did it, it was still wet from the first gray that I put on. And whenever I have a color, I'm going through and doing these little kind of Christmas bulbs or these little lights on the cactus. And I'll have a bunch of different colors that I used in the painting in this little area. So it's satisfying to see these final parts come together. And I'm just making sure there's no white spaces in the painting that I don't have planned. And just filling it in, making sure I'm using all the kind of colors that I wanted to in those parts, and just adding extra little final touches that make a huge difference at the end. I'm putting in these little shapes in the window. I took a look at the painting from a little bit further away and saw that it was just missing something up here. So it's doing little shapes within it, adding some more lines in this little part just to make this smoke from the chimney stand out. And then doing the same with the tree as well. So just kind of doing these final little touches that I'll be painting, and I'll just take a look and remember that I want to do this one thing or see this space. I'm adding a little face in here, and I'm going to kind of invert the colors. So make the eye in the black part, make the kind of pupil of the eye yellow, and make the yellow one have it kind of a black color inside the eye. Doing another little shape there just to give the road something, but I don't want to make it too cluttered. I thought it'd be kind of cool to add one extra little shape up here, so I'm doing a star, and I'll put some little designs inside of it. And then filling this space as well, just with like a little, kind of like a meteor. And yeah, I was gonna add something else to the red part below, but I'm just leaving that. I really don't want to make it too busy. And yeah, this is the little part of the arrows I was talking about, just to make it a little more kind of chaotic in that middle area where there's not a bunch of huge details or elements that I wanted to kind of draw the eyes to. But by now it's 99% complete, and I'm just doing these final little touches like adding the colors into this little cactus area and making sure that all the lines are done. I'm going to go into the mouth of the kind of like sea creature and just line it. Probably add like a little tongue like I did with the cactus one, and just little small details like this where I'm just putting in that blue just to make sure it all comes together. I really appreciate everyone who watched this video or watched any of the videos in this part or on my channel. This was a really fun one. I don't really know what I'm doing with oil painting. I guess painting in general. My style is just kind of, I do whatever I kind of feel like doing, and sometimes they turn out really well and sometimes they don't, or I really like them and someone may look at them and hate the way they look, and that's okay. It's just kind of a fun outlet for me, so I appreciate anyone who watches and takes the time to see what I'm doing. It's been a lot of fun to paint and really get back into painting every single day and try different challenges. When I started painting a lot recently, I wanted to make sure that I was challenging myself with new themes, new elements, adding some realism into some other paintings, and something like this with oil painting, where it's something that was out of my comfort zone and something that just really challenged me. So it's been really fun to be able to do this, and I think I'll definitely do a few more oil paintings soon. It's super satisfying to see how the paint covers differently and see how they blend differently, and I'll do some that are super abstract and I'll do some that are more planned and realistic, so it'll be kind of cool to see how my style can blend with this new type of paint. So I really appreciate any feedback that you have as well about the duration of the videos. Do you like the longer ones, the shorter ones? Do you want to see ones where I have a live stream? I usually live stream when I paint. Do you want to see longer ones where I put all the live streams together, kind of have in the background? So I'd love to hear any feedback that you would have. So now I'm doing the final details, just doing this lining and adding just a few small little lines and filling in a few more spots, but it is pretty much done. So all I'm doing is just lining around the mouth and I just wanted to add like a little face to this, just to make sure it's obvious that it's a face and people can kind of look at that, and it's right in the center of the painting. And I wanted to go back and make sure that every little one of these light bulbs has a color. And yeah, it's satisfying to finish this one. This is the longest painting I've done by quite a bit. Even the mural that I painted, this took probably 4 times as long. That one didn't have as much detail, obviously, but this one was a lot of fun. I never took this much time on a painting, and it was nice because it forced me to try new things and do a bunch of more kind of detailed things that I wouldn't usually do. And yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. As always, I'm not too sure if it's the exact theme of Route 66, but I think with my style, it always kind of turns out like that. So yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, and if you have any other ideas for themes that you want to see in the future. But here it is. This is the final finished painting, and I really like how it looks. I really like the bright colors, and I love how the oil paint makes the colors stand out even more. It seems like it's extremely bright and pops out, and you're able to make elements pop out more by creating that blending of colors. So I really enjoyed this one. Thank you for watching, and I'll probably put a time-lapse video of this entire project. I'll probably post that soon.